It's alleged that former President Jacob Zuma defended the Guptas because they helped his children.
That's according to the former Minister Ramatlodi, who was testifying at the State Capture inquiry yesterday.
Well, he made startling claims about Zuma's friendship with the Indian business family.
Today, it will be the turn of former SAA chairperson and ANC veteran Cheryl Carolus. Now, our reporter Erin Bates is following that inquiry for us.
Morning, Erin. Now, I mean, what we heard from Nwako Ramatlodi, and we knew that we were going to hear some explosive, some very juicy testimony from him. Just take us through a little bit more of that. I mean, the headlines this morning say a lot as well. Definitely get you, wondering or wanting to actually read his experiences and what happened with the Guptas and the former president.
Yes, I think Ramatlodi is the witness who to date has been the most unequivocal in implicating former President Jacob Zuma, his son Jacob Zuma and the Guptas in allegations of state capture. And he really did just drop proverbial bomb after proverbial bomb yesterday before the inquiry and gave us real insight into NEC meetings of the governing party, the ANC, and the challenges, the tussle between different factions over what to do about the then president's relationship with the Gupta family, which Ramatlodi himself says Zuma defended when he was questioned about it by members of the ANC's NEC. He also spoke about being approached within almost minutes, in fact within a week of being appointed Mineral Resources Minister by Duduzane Zuma, with a phone call in encouraging Ramatlodi to meet with Zuma Jr. face-to-face to congratulate him on his position, and then lobbying, he said, from Ben Ngubane and others to redact or retract the licenses that Glencore had for mining operations. And at one point, Advocate Buthelezi just asked him straight, why would you allege that the then president had any interest in these licenses Glencore held for coal mines, for example, in Mpumalanga? And Ramatlodi's answer is that, well, he wanted to help the Guptas, making no mystery out of his perception of the then president's relationship with the business family.
All right, Erin, and then like we know, we're going to be hearing from Cheryl Carolus. We know that over the past over a year now, we've been hearing from the veterans, and she's been one of them, talking about how we needed to get to the bottom of all of this. So probably expecting more of the same from her as well today.
What we expect from Cheryl Carolus is particularly around SAA and her work there as the chair of the SAA board. Barbara Hogan, for example, talking about issues with SAA. Mosebenzi Zwane as well, discussing meetings he had over the national airline carrier and governance issues with the board. Of course, Dudu Myeni also features in that picture, so we may well hear some of Cheryl Carolus's take on Dudu Myeni's dealings with the then president and also with the national carrier and governance issues there. But she has, as you say, also spoken in her capacity as a leader and a veteran of the governing party. And here's just something from our archives on what she's had to say on that front.
A strong ANC will make for a stronger country, not in the sense of power. And that's the problem. That's where people have lost the plot, is that they saw strength as something that has to do with power, that in fact is used, abused for nefarious ends. And we're saying we must set that right. That it happened on our watch, that this thing went very, very wrong.
This thing went very, very wrong, she says, and that's something that echoes what we heard from Ramatlodi yesterday. Him describing, for example, a time when the NEC of the ANC took collective responsibility from where the governing party was. He said it was a season of madness. And so we may well hear about Carolus and her view on the ANC and its challenges dealing with this time of a season of madness, as well as the issues at the SAA board.
Erin, just finally, before you go, I mean, the other day I spoke to Nomboni Sokas, the analyst, who was saying, really what's going on at the state capture inquiries, like the ANC itself is on trial. Now, yet another veteran today, also a former government official. I mean, she was once in the past Deputy Secretary General of the ANC. That's Cheryl Carolus. It's going to be coming there pointing fingers and revealing what people who are comrades have done when in government, letting the people of South Africa down in terms of how they were behaving.
Of course, and our own colleague, Goli Ngambi, has also used that phrase, the ANC being on trial at the inquiry. Another interpretation is that the ANC is also, through this inquiry, and the likes of Gwede Mantashe, one of the current and former top six appearing here under oath, is that it's using this as an opportunity to show its change in leadership and attitude around issues of governance and the distinction between party and state. And there's been a lot of criticism, for example, about the expense spent on this inquiry. Those for it are saying that it's a good apparatus to tackle state capture and put in recommendations on how to remedy that. It will also be used as the foundation, possibly for criminal prosecution down the line. But it may also be a very good PR exercise for a party that's in the process of trying to remedy and redeem itself, not only in the public eye, but in terms of its own internal structures. So, yes, perhaps the ANC is on trial, and certainly there are a lot of people who need to be held to account, both here and in criminal prosecution. But it is also an opportunity for the likes of Gwede Mantashe, Cheryl Carolus, and even Ramatlhodi yesterday to talk about what the party says it's doing internally to try and remedy its faults.
Thank you very much. Erin Bates at the State Capture Inquiry ahead of today's appearance day of Cheryl Carolus.